As far as our week, we've been very, very locked into getting better, without question. And I think everybody recognizes on our team that there is a lot of room for improvement. And really, it just comes down to the biggest thing is just establishing more and more what our style of play is and where we want to take it to. And learning from the most recent game of Notre Dame, learning from some of the past 5 games or so, the pluses and the minuses of those games, and then just really locking into our improvement. And that's what we're doing. We're playing a team tomorrow night. They have Nicholls State. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They run very good sets. They run a very unique 5-man type of offense that I've never seen it before personally. And we want to make sure we're doing a great job of communication with all of that. They play 11 guys 10 minutes or more. And so they'll be in a situation where they can run different people out there. And again, that's what our style of play needs to be. Our style of play needs to be a lot of different people contributing. Our style of play needs to be forcing the tempo on both ends. Our style of play needs to be moving the ball constantly, getting the ball through the paint, whether it's a drive or a post-up, no matter what the defense is. And again, from last Saturday, every time that we played through the paint, on a catch, on a drive, on a post-up, a catch at the foul line, against the zone, whatever it was, we got great things. And it's just amazing how much more that perimeter opens up when we do that. And that's exactly how we have to play. So short weekend for us with games, but it's good. It's been a very, very important week, like I said, for them to get better. And at the same time, they've had a very, very stressful and strenuous week with their academics. You know, we'll have guys taking finals all the way up through the middle of tomorrow afternoon. And but I know we've gotten better this week. How we play remains to be seen. But the bottom line is our style of play is a work in progress, and we've got to continue to build towards it.
With this long stretch with only 2 games over a span of however many days, how much of an opportunity does that give you to just work on you and not worry so much about an opponent?
Well, we're always going to worry, I should say worry, we're always going to build our stuff towards us. And I was gone yesterday, so what we did is we just put in some of their offense, and then we ran through it a little bit today in a scrimmage situation. We'll do it again tomorrow. They've seen it on film. The most important thing in almost any situation is the concept part of it. And we've got to continue to refine the concepts. And again, that's just style of play. It's ball pressure. And we've got to get to the point where eventually we create more turnovers, where our deflections turn into more baskets, where our running game continues to improve. And those are the bottom line things. So we're always very fundamental based. But now it's more emphasis on where we really need to be, and then see how it carries out inside of the game. But there's always going to be a balance, or no balance. It's really going to be split far more towards what we're trying to do versus what the other team is trying to do. Because if you get good enough at your concepts, then you can game plan. And we're not good enough at our concepts yet.
When it comes to getting the ball in the paint, is that something you guys didn't feel like you emphasized enough to these guys beforehand, or is it something?
Oh no, I don't think it's that. I think we're getting the ball in the lane pretty good. I mean, when you look at the fact that Noah's numbers are misleading because he gets fouled so much. He's one of the leaders in the country getting fouled. And every time we got the ball inside against Syracuse, good things happen with the front line and foul trouble. When you go through a lot of different games, I don't think it's that. I think it's time and score situations. I think it's understanding momentum. And 5, 6, 7, 8 point differentials in what we have to get right now. And a lot of that comes through moving the ball, reverse it, and playing through the paint, playing through the post. We didn't do a very good job of that the other day. And like I said, that's my responsibility to make sure that that you know, the old saying, by hook or by crook, we understand how we're doing it. And not assuming that we understand that, and making sure that it's being emphasized constantly till it becomes second nature. It's not second nature yet.
Is it then a question of guys feeling like they had to try to get it all back at once? If you fall behind 6,
I think you're always going to have a little bit of that, but no, I think it's lack of recognition. I think it's lack of recognition, and not pushing the ball at the rate that we need to push it, and then really just kind of flowing, and then we got to get better with our shot clock offense, things like that. those are probably some of the things that have been behind because we've been so focused on certain things. I mean, we're doing obviously when you look at the numbers, all those games, we're doing an excellent job of getting to the foul line. We're doing a very good job of rebounding the ball. Our field goal percentage defense is strong, all those types of things. But it needs to be that way in crunch time. And we just didn't do it. We had numerous opportunities in that game to take a 2, 3, 4 point deficit and turn it the other way. And that doesn't mean we would have, but we just didn't do as good a job as we could do. We became a little too self-reliant rather than team-reliant.
You mentioned the other day that you felt like maybe the lights were a little too bright for your guys, and I noticed after the Heat Pacer game, Pete Wade said, we've got to the point we like the bright lights. How do you go about teaching players or a team to embrace the big situations?
Well, I think it's like anything else, and I saw some people maybe interpreted it like I was talking about. It had nothing to do with the crowd. I mean, I know we had a good, strong Indiana crowd. It has everything to do with that. It has everything to do with the magnitude of the game. Right. I say bright lights. That can be Assembly Hall. That's the arena. That's the ambiance of everything that's going on around it. We're not used to it yet. We haven't been in those situations enough yet. And when I say bright lights, it's more, hey, we got to keep playing every game the same way. Every game is different, but you got to go with the same mindset of attack. And I thought we let our guard down a little bit. I thought their experience certainly got to us at crucial times, but I also think in retrospect there were times that we could have done something to force the issue a little bit better. And we just lose consciousness of that a little bit on one more pass, get it in the post, play out of this, get inside your man for a back cut. So what happens then is you end up standing around a little bit. And I think that's where the bright light, to me, that's what that means.
On his end of it, I guess, what more do you need from Noah in terms of making sure that the ball does touch?
I think everybody's just got to keep getting better. I don't know if it's I don't think I would specify any one person situation. I mean, it's a team that has played 11 games, and a majority of these guys have played 11 games in college basketball, or a good bulk of them, I should say. And we just got to continue to learn and grow through that. So I don't think there's no one person, no two people right now that I am coaching and saying, you know what, we have to just make sure we're centering on what they need. We got a bunch of guys that need to get better, and everybody can.
This might fly in the face of that a little bit, but you mentioned guys being too self-reliant. I think when you guys were down 2 and then down 4, Yogi took the ball down, didn't make a pass, took 2 shots. What do you want from him in terms of mentality in those situations? Do you want to be the guy who I want the ball, I want to take a shot?
I think it's all time to score. I think it's just absolutely just having a great flexibility to read the game. And I think that's what any player has to have, especially a guard. The flexibility is there is flexibility to our offense. There's a ton of it. And some people would call it freedom. I call it flexibility. We can do a lot of different things. And I think it's just a matter of really recognizing what's there and recognizing for anybody that's got the ball in their hands that we're at our best when it goes through the paint. We had a great stretch late in the first half where that ball either by pass or by dribble went through the paint. That's where we made our run. We made a big run, and it wasn't like the shots were any different. It was just that the ball was getting reversed through the lane, and I think that's so important. So really, it's nothing that's extravagant. It's not about adding 15 new, wild plays. It's not that. It's simple basketball. Let's get it inside. Let's get it reversed. Let's get it driven. The old analogy of swing, drive it. I mean, that's what you have to have. And I think you've got to really understand that we're what I said the other day, and what we're continuing to learn is how do we win? Last year's team, the last 2 years, could make a ton of threes. That's not this team right now. They're all getting better with it, but that's not this team. But there's some proven things for us that we've already proven that we can win with if we'll do that. And it's my responsibility to make sure that we're doing that.
Tom, in the first half you struggled a little bit interior defense with Sherman and the other post guys. Did you make some adjustments as the game went on?
Sure, yeah. We did a better job with the game plan that we put in place. So it started more in the second half. So it's all a matter of anything else. Our communication as a team, our ability to rotate, tell each other where to be, those one-word commands, to each other on the court. just awareness. I think that's a little bit, some people might, the deer in the headlight look, I call it the bright lights. I mean, we didn't have great awareness in that game. That's why I say that the experience of that team the other day was a factor because they played with better awareness than we played. And that's what we just got to continue to gain experience and understanding of how important every possession is, how important the ball's here, now it's my time to rotate, those types of things.
I guess maybe this relates a little bit to approaching every game the same way, but did you feel like with any of the young players there was frustration or morale issues just after such an emotional loss, maybe a frustrating loss?
Oh, I would hope so. I would hope nobody'd be happy with that. Absolutely. I mean, the frustration is for little children. You can't have 18, 19, and eventually little children got to grow out of it. It's not frustration, it's determination. What are you going to do about it? So we're not big on I don't know what word I would use. We're not big on that self-indulgent, I didn't get to do this, I didn't get to do that. We got to move right on. I mean, we don't run the program like that. And eventually that players learn to see, hey, I've got to be very, very giving. We're in this as a team, the whole deal. So, I mean, I would hope nobody'd be happy.
You talked about ball pressure earlier. Where do you want to see that get better? What do you feel like?
Just really active hands, I think, consistently. I mean, just consistent, active hands that are really making the ball go. You cannot, I learned this from Jerry Tarkanian a long time ago. He said, you can never let the ball go through you. And you want it to go under you, around you, over you, but never through you. And when you don't have your hands as active and you're not trying to create an angle, you're not forcing them into a pass maker to change their angle, then they can just make passes right over the top. But we had anywhere from seniors to freshmen with that issue the other day. One of our big issues was we really, really wanted to put a lot of pressure on Jerry and Grant. And he had good numbers, they had great numbers, turnover assist-wise, but we felt there was some pressure there that could be brought, and we just didn't do a good enough job of that. It really just starts out with the basic hands active, force them to get the ball, throw it around you, which buys a little bit more time. And in answer to Mike's question with the post defense, I think I said this the other day or at the radio show, our biggest issue in post defense was our lack of ball pressure, because that is the number one attribute to your post defense, is what's that ball pressure like.
You touched on it generally with the renovations, but how Cook Hall was a new facility for you. How will these renovations help you recruit?
Have you seen the drawings?
Yeah, but from a
Did you guys
recruiting
all get
standpoint.
to see them today?
Yeah.
They're phenomenal. I think, again, the Cook Hall drawings were like you could really recruit to them, and we would show them to recruits, and we would take them into the homes, but it didn't even scratch what it looked like when it was done. And I think it's going to be the same thing. Those drawings are phenomenal. I think it's going to bring a whole new level of atmosphere, a whole new level of excitement to the building. It's something that everybody can share in. I mean, everybody. And I think the great news about this gift, because, and I'm not sure what's out there right now or what's not out there on the capital campaigns. Much out there on that?
No, they've said it's 150 million, but this is focused today.
But I mean, as far as like everything that they're trying to build, is that?
No.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. I mean, I'll just say that. I mean, I don't want to step out of my lane here, but it's going to be really good. Everybody's going to be affected. And so a gift like this takes, literally, I don't have a better word for it than national treasure. It is. It's not mine. It's not anybody's. It's Indiana's. And I think when you have that, and you can just make it that much better and keep building the shelf life of this building up even longer, I think it's fantastic. So it means a lot. There's a lot of, there's going to be a groundswell of momentum that'll come from this. And I've been in on it for a while, and I know how excited I've been. And now it's great to see how excited everybody else is going to be.
Will you be able to recruit to it the same way you did the other?
Oh, I didn't really answer your question, did I? I would think so. Yeah, because such a huge part of our recruiting is getting people to games and having them be here and be a part of it. And I thought Kurt really hit that, pretty well with how excited the families are, when they come in. But the most pictures taken when a recruit comes in here are still what they do when they come out into Assembly Hall. If we do something at night or something on a day, I mean, they want their pictures in there. So now you start adding all these other things, it's going to be great. But it's just going to be, it's going to bring even more class to what's already been as first class of places there is. So no question, anytime you have surroundings like this, it can't do anything but help your recruiting.
Go back to Nicholls State real quick. You said they've got an
I
offense.
forgot we were playing them. You guys want to talk about last week? Go ahead.
When you say they've run an offense you haven't seen before, what do you
They
mean?
just really, they got a lot of five-man movement. There's a lot of cutting, and you should, like Zach Lowe, and like start studying it on synergy and stuff like that. Then you could write and break it down. But there's a lot of cutting to it. They want middle drive. They want back cuts. They want you to screw up. They want you to screw up. So we've got to be really sharp in how aggressive we are, who we're guarding, the way we want to guard them. And because they play so many guys, there's some personnel, certainly, that you have to be locked into. They're a very good shot fake team, they're a very good mid-range team. They want open threes. They have, some of their biggest guys are three-point shooters. So they have that, but they want you to screw up. And they're going to run it until you do, in a lot of ways, so they get the shot that they want. It's somewhat deliberate, but creative in the sense that just some of the cuts are unique. Some of the curls, where they curl, where some people might run it as a double stagger to come straight up the lane. Now they'll curl right through the middle. You'll see it tomorrow night. Hopefully it won't look very good, but that's our mission.
How different is the challenge, I guess, of preparing a team that does play so many guys? I mean, it seems like a lot of their guys are in sort of the 15
It's
to
no
25
different
minute.
right now. No, it's not. It's what's important is what they want. What's important is what they're looking for, and then it's always about, okay, is this guy a really good post up? Is this guy a really good 3-point shooter? Does this guy have a definitive hand? And those are the big things that you lock into personnel wise, because again, this is the other part of preparation. Last year's team not as much because they've been through it, but young teams, you don't want it to run together, and if you're not careful, it'll run together, and so you've got to be. That's again where the concepts come in, and this is how we play. This is what we want to try to take away, and then you try to make sure that you've got some factors in there. And I'm seeing that we'll build our ability to be cerebral as we go, just like any team would do. But we've got to be really careful about making sure that we're not throwing too much at these guys that get them away from just playing, because we need to play faster. We good?
Yep.
Anything else about the building? Anything else there? All right.
Thanks a lot.